As evening's amber glow settles over Highport, our heroes, weary yet determined, make their way to the heart of the harbor. Their footsteps lead them to the Rusted Anchor, a tavern bathed in the aroma of salt and rich ale. Reyna immediately walks up to the barkeep and orders the tavern's mightiest beer. After being handed a huge jug, she spots a lone, dejected figure. She sits down at his table and gets him to talk. His name is Fyodor, and he relates his relentless search for his own enslaved brother. Fyodor seems at his wit's end. His money is running out. With no clear trace of his brother and lacking the strength of arms or money to get inside the Temple of Highport, the place that all slaves are brought to. He tells Reyna that the slave lords only sell some of the slaves at the temple, and most slaves are actually shipped out of the city. Additionally, the slave lords are rumored to have a secret base somewhere in the mountains to the east. Reyna also learns information important to her dragonborn companion, because Fyodor has seen another dragonborn being brought in from a ship and marched to the temple several weeks ago. Across the room, Winnie's instincts were pulled toward a raucous group. 4 brutes, openly flaunting their recent spoils, spoke of villages plundered and innocents harmed. Their disdain and the weight of their gold told of a prosperous raid. Winnie discreetly questioned the barkeep about the cult of the dragon. His whispered response unveiled a nefarious bond between the cult and the slave lords, emphasizing their grip on the city's lifeline, its trade, but was hesitant to go into detail. Meanwhile, Fabian and Yacronix aimed to be flies on the wall, settling near 2 intriguing shield maidens. Their attempts at eavesdropping, however, were more clumsy than covert, leading the maidens to whisper their words. Fabian decided to change her strategy and approach the 2 maidens with questions about Imre, the drow slave lord. They referred her to Amara, their leader, and the woman who had formed the shield maidens out of the wives of the soldiers and city watchmen that fell during the attack on the city. They promised Fabian to announce her visit tomorrow. Amidst the tavern's hum, an unexpected tension gripped the air. Yacronix, sensing an unusual psychic force, tapped into the mysterious magic that enveloped them. Suddenly, as if struck by an invisible force, Fabian's eyes shut tight, her face reflecting a swirl of emotions. The voice that reached her was unmistakably familiar, her mother's. The regal voice conveyed urgency, reminding Fabian of her expected presence at the grand celebration of her grandfather's 25th year of rulership. Stammering and caught off guard, Fabian pleaded for assistance, quickly clarifying her inability to attend. As this psychic exchange transpired, the raucous group of villains, now heavily intoxicated, stumbled out of the bar. But it wasn't just the heroes who took note. A mysterious cloaked figure trailed behind them. Sensing opportunity or danger, perhaps both, our heroes sprang into action. Reyna's magic cloaked them in shadows, allowing them to tail the boisterous group undetected. The villains' drunken path led them into a dim alley, but they weren't alone. 4 other cloaked figures appeared, the tension palpable. Their demand? The villains' ill-gotten loot. Predictably, the drunk villains refused, and blades were drawn amidst heated words. Thanks to Reyna's pass-without-trace spell, the heroes melded seamlessly with the shadows, all except Yacronix. Wine bottle in hand, standing as if he owned the alley, Yacronix was an oddity amidst the chaos. As one of the villains attempted to flee past him, the sorcerer acted swiftly, thrusting him to the ground with force and rendering him unconscious with a charged, shocking grasp spell. The skirmish was fierce and swift, with the villains meeting a grim end at the hands of the cloaked assailants. These thieves, quick to seize their opportunity, rummaged through the villains' pockets, extracting luxurious gear and hefty coin purses. Sensing the need to act, Fabian sprinted back to the Rusted Anchor, rallying the shield maidens to the crime scene. By the time they arrived, the alley was eerily silent, with the slain villains as grim testimony to the night's events, save for the unconscious one left by Yacronix's intervention. As the sun's first rays pierced Highport the next day, Fabian made her way to the shield maidens' headquarters. There she engaged in a covert conversation with Amara, their leader. Amara's words painted a complex web of power and treachery, revealing that the ominous slave lords rarely made an appearance in Highport. Imre had last been seen a few months prior, but the talk of the town was the recent visit of Stallman Kim. Once a formidable leader of the cult of the dragon, whispers suggested he met his end during this very visit. While the shield maidens held no loyalty towards these slave lords, their control over Highport's trade was suffocating. This stranglehold meant the city was on the brink of starvation, pushing even the shield maidens into a compromising position. While they could not directly assist Fabian and her crew, Amara's message was clear. They would conveniently turn a blind eye should any harm befall the slave lords. The heroes stopped by Zol, the leader of the Dripping Skulls. She gave them a box with the present intended for her rival Targil the Red. When asked about what the box contained, she smiled slyly and said it was a piece of armor well suited to Targil. The heroes made their way to the other side of the city, but disagreed about their next step. Some desired to open the box and check if the present wouldn't be overly insulting. They suspected some kind of double deal or insult from the wily Zol. Euchronix, however, was very confident about the success of the mission and took the box and marched singly into the Red Fang's territory. Winnie and Fabian tried to stop him, but he shook them off, activated his blink spell, and presented the gift to Targil. It turned out to be a fine iron helmet in the shape of a horse, with a sizable nose to boot. Targil seemed very pleased with the gift and told the heroes he would sell horse meat at the usual prices again. Armed with this knowledge and with urgency fueling their mission, the heroes reconvened with Feodor. The decision was unanimous. It was time to penetrate the fortress of the slave lords. Their strategy was twofold: stealth to evade detection and force to eliminate any slaver that stood in their way. Their objective? To rescue Drekkel's brother Srazeth and bring an end to the tyranny of the slave lords.